The implication here really is very simple. I think a lot of these changes we are seeing in organization designs, whether coming from digitalization or decentralization or diversity or distributed work, these changes are not things that are going to be done to us. We can't have such a passive view. Okay? As managers, we have to take ownership of accepting or not accepting these changes is happening to us. Okay? I've heard this conversation so often and I find it very depressing that AI is going to become super intelligent at some point, they're going to replace humans. This is not like a law of nature. It's not like the speed of light or gravitation constant. We have a say in this, right? Regulation matters. The choices we make about our organization designs matter at our individual level. Regulation is just organization design at the level of an economy, right? So same thing. So we have choices. We get to make choices. So my broad point I want to leave you with is the following. When confronted with these major changes in technology or in trends or in culture, you want to ask yourself before becoming a proponent of these changes, do these changes pass the double filter? What's the double filter? The double filter is two sets of questions. Okay? Are we building designs that are sufficiently human-centric? And at the same time, are we building designs that are improving how we solve those 5 universal problems? Now, some of you are going to immediately have this reaction, maybe all of you, that, come on, human-centric design sounds great, it makes people happy, but can we really afford that? What about a world of competition, right? I have a bunch of employees who are happy and my competitor does not, but they make more money than me, I'm going to be out of business. So how can we allow ourselves the indulgence of being human-centric? That's the wrong way to think about it, in my view. Why? At least 4 reasons. One, we know, and we've known this for a long time, that designs that allow people to express more motivation can actually improve productivity. Okay? This mattered less in an age where people's work was so routinized that their intrinsic motivation didn't matter. What they did could be fully observed and measured and mapped, and if they did it, whether they did it happily or unhappily, who cared? We are not in that world anymore. Most of the work we do is knowledge work, right? The prototypical knowledge worker is sitting down in his chair looking up like this. And I have no idea, are they working hard? Are they shirking? We cannot tell, right? So what matters really is their intrinsic motivation. And if you can produce that by creating designs that allow this human centricity to be preserved, then it's a competitive advantage. So it's an economic argument I'm making here, right? Second, there is no way you can win the competition for talent if you have designs that look like the East India Company. Okay, that's over. If you just take a look around and see what's happening on Glassdoor and just filter it by seniority and look at the reviews that people write about their companies on Glassdoor, it is so blatantly obvious that the generation coming in now is willing to give up money for autonomy. Okay, there's a very clear sense of this happening. Now, the strength of that is not uniform. It's very strong in Western Europe and in the US, less so in other parts of the world. We're also finding that right after an economic crisis, people are willing to give up autonomy for cash. Okay, makes sense, completely understandable, but does not negate the basic impulse that we have to live in flat, two-layered structures. Okay, so if you can offer that, you will get the pick of the talent. And ultimately, if we compete on talent, that's what you're going to do, right? Regulation shapes the rules of competition. So regulation, as I said, is just organizational design at the level of the economy. So you control this. So it's not as if the forces of competition are some things outside our control which are going to kill us all. No, we can shape that, right? And last but not the least, despite what a few of my colleagues maybe in finance still believe, most of them don't, economic competition does not guarantee efficient outcomes. It's quite myopic, right? So the competition in the market is just a particular case of selection, I think. It doesn't have to be far-sighted. It can lead to very bad outcomes. And we've seen that repeatedly over the last couple of decades. So yes, economic competition is a very powerful force. It nudges towards economic efficiency. It's great. Markets are powerful. But markets are not God. Okay? They can lead us to make very bad societal decisions. So these are things we need to control rather than just accept as something coming down on us as forces. That's really the point I want to make. So that's the double filter. The double filter is for every potential organization design innovation you look at, you have to ask 2 questions. You should ask, does it improve the chances of attaining the organization's goals by solving the 5 universal problems in a better way while preserving or enhancing human centricity? Okay? And if you don't like this prioritization, and I hope you don't, I have it the other way around as well, right? The double filter can also be applied this way. You can start by asking, does it enhance human centricity while preserving or improving the chances of attaining the organization's goals by solving the universal problems of organizing in a better way?